Hi, I'm Heather Bichkowski, and I am here today with a couple of friends, and we're going to talk about the Make-Wish Foundation. As some of you may know, we have a wonderful auction and dinner and dancing every year with Patty Rainville, and we just love doing this event. There are so many wonderful opportunities to help these children with life-threatening illness. Can you tell me more about that? Because a lot of people think that it's terminal children, but it's actually life-threatening?
Yes. Make-A-Wish grants wishes to children with life-threatening conditions. It is not a terminal wish. It is a life-threatening. So that is something we really want to make sure we strive for everybody to understand, that if you have a child with a life-threatening condition, they may be eligible for a wish, and we would really like you to reach out to the office and see if your child qualifies for a wish.
And I see you guys have, this is the Year of Wishes. I was looking at this, and it's a book with each child that was granted a wish. And there's quite a few. How many children do you think you've granted wishes this year? Do you remember?
Myself personally?
Yeah, yourself. This, the Beat the Winter Blues.
Oh, Beat the Winter Blues, we're able to, with the money we raise, all the money stays local. It all stays in Vermont. And we attempt to grant wishes for the children that are in Franklin County. And it's like a sword. If you don't have a child in Franklin County, then we do branch out and we grant wishes. We sponsor a wish for a child that's further out. So it's like a catch-22. It's a good thing that we don't have children in Franklin County that are needing wishes. That means our children are healthier. However, if there is a child and they are qualified for a wish, Beat the Winter Blues has been very fortunate to sponsor their wish. And we started out with sponsoring 2 wishes at a time. We raised enough money. An average wish is
roughly $10,000.
Is roughly $10,000. And so with money that we raise, we are able to sponsor 2 to 3 wishes a year with Beat the Winter Blues.
That's great. Can you tell me about some examples of wishes that you have, like, just one? I believe you did a Princess Tea Party at some point. Is that correct?
We granted a wish for a young lady who wanted to go to Disney and wasn't able to go due to her illness. So her second part of her wish was she loved Jay Peak and she loved princesses. So we've got children involved from Missisquoi Valley Union High School. Jean Gagne got some kids from student council involved, and they dressed up as princesses. And we went and we sent her to Jay Peak because she loved the water park and that. So they spent a week in Jay Peak and did the water park and did skiing and did the gondola and everything. And we spent a day up there where we had princesses and prince come in, and we had a big party, and she got dressed up, and we had a former Miss Vermont come and brought her a crown. And it was quite touching, and I think it was great for younger children, the young adults from Missisquoi, to be involved, to see that they could have a purpose and a meaning and make a difference in this child's life.
Absolutely. So tell me more about the dinner and the auction. How many people attend this auction and dinner?
Roughly between 275 to 300, roughly.
Right, because a lot of people just come in and out and show their support.
Yep.
And I love that. I do attend it every year.
You do, and you come with your prom posse, which has become a huge hit. Getting dressed up, I think it's fabulous that you get adults to dress up in prom dresses.
Oh, it's so much fun. And we find them at thrift shops, so we get them for next to nothing, and we just go out and the grown-ups get to dress up too. So how many auction items do you think that we have there every year?
We get roughly between 250 to 300 auction items. Nothing is too small and nothing is too large.
Right, and and people often ask me, because of course I collect a lot of the auction items, they say, well, what would you want to auction off? And I said, anything that you think anybody would bid on, because we've had some pretty weird stuff in the auctions before that you wouldn't consider. Like, I think we had a camper one year,
we had
a boat.
We had a camper donated one year. We had a boat donated one year. We used to have
And these are used items.
Those were those
so
two.
some things are new and some things are used, but they still have value and people still want to bid on them.
Right.
So it's important to remember that if you say, well, I don't have the money to go out and buy stuff, but you may have some stuff that is of value that's in great condition that people would want to bid on an auction too.
Yes, we had at one time enough cement. There was a person who donated enough cement to pour a 2-car garage. We've had organic dirt donated. We've had...
You know what one I thought was fun is one of my friends donated 3 hours of gardening.
Yes.
And I thought that was adorable because...
I wish we'd get that back because I could use it. What else do we have, Joe?
We've had the sculptures.
Oh, yes.
The welded sculptures donated by the Verderber family from Fiddlehead Dentistry.
Yeah, that was amazing.
Always a hit at the benefit.
Yes, actually, one of her sculptures, we had somebody bid over the phone. It was a giant blue heron with a 6 or 7 foot wingspan, and it was 6 or 7 feet tall. And a person, I think it was from out of state. We did a phone bid, and they bid on it from out of state. It was really exciting.
That's cool. And there's live auction, and then there's silent auction too.
Yes, the live auction can be. We've had beautiful quilts donated. What else have we had?
We had a canoe one year. The live auction, we really have to tip our hat to Ed White Sr. for really interacting with the crowd to increase our bids. And, we really appreciate everything Ed does on that end.
He's a hoot. I love him. Yeah.
And, he just makes the event that much lighter.
Yeah.
So he's a wonderful man.
Yeah.
And I shouldn't short sell that because everyone in the crowd is wonderful.
Yeah.
That have come out to support these children.
Yeah, absolutely. We have such a great group of people, and most people that go one year come back the next year and the next year. I mean, that's how you got me hooked.
Yes, this is our 14th year this year.
Yeah.
14th year. I never thought it would go this long.
But I look forward to it every year. It's such a fun time, and there's so many wonderful people there that are out in the community that are coming out to support this great cause.
Well, I have to say, Heather, without your support, we wouldn't have a lot of the items that we have. Not only do you get items, but you make us items like the necklace you have on, which is great. And I know people look forward to that. They'll ask me, is Heather going to put jewelry in? Is Heather going to do this? I'll say, I don't know, because you put together the Pay It Forward. You and Mary Wood put together the Pay It Forward, which I think is phenomenal, where people get together at her house and you guys put the word out and you get all these items and you wrap them and you tag them, and all I have to do is go pick them up and bring them to the hall. And it's a huge saver for me.
Yeah.
And you have a whole group of people that are in my group that we are able to branch out. And I think that what we're very fortunate with, it's a lot. I like to think that Beat the Winter Blues and the things that we do branches out. It's like a ripple in a pond. And when you throw a stone in, or you throw an event in, or you throw a wish in, the ripples branch out, and it not only touches the Wish family, but it touches the community. It touches the children involved. It touches the brothers and sisters, because when we grant a wish, it is primarily for the Wish child, but it's also for the Wish family.
It really is.
Because the children, the families are so busy running to doctor's appointments. And with Joe being a Wish father, he can speak to that. He can tell you that it isn't just the child that's affected, it's everybody in the family. And
Right.
it's not just the immediate family, it's the extended family, it's the grandparents, it's the aunts and uncles who have to step up and help out with the children so that mom and dad can take the child to the doctor. And when Make-A-Wish comes in, we are able to give them joy, hope, and what's the other one? we enrich the lives of children with hope, joy, and...
Oh, I didn't know there was a test.
There's one more, I'm trying to think of it. And it's just, the kids have a purpose. They have something to look forward to.
Right.
And
you get that break for that one moment.
that if it's...
That you can forget that you're having to deal with this day in and day out.
Right. And Joe, speak a little bit about...
Obviously, in 2001, I was a Wish father. My son got his wish. His wish was to go to Disney. The Disney wish is probably the #1 wish that we provide. We got an enhancement on our wish that isn't, as we spoke off camera, the ebb and flow of the process. When we went down, my son was the Grand Marshal for the parade at Magic Kingdom, which comically, ironically, as we were going through the crowd, and people know that Disney's a rather large place, there were 2 of my coworkers from the immigration office that were there when we went through the crowd, so it was kind of funny to have somebody hollering your name as you're driving through. Luckily for me, my son is happy and healthy today, but I felt like I needed to give something back to Make-A-Wish. So for the 4 years after his wish, and we ended right before Patty started, we used to have a golf tournament to generate money to give back to Make-A-Wish, and then I became an event planner, and then a wish assist, and now, along with Patty, I'm a wish granter. Patty and I have had the opportunity to grant wishes from pretty much the north of Vermont all the way to the south of Vermont. Yeah. We have each had a wish in Canaan, Vermont, and one of the wishes we're working on right now is in Bennington. I have the privilege of providing over 30 wishes for children during my time. Patty is way ahead of me. I really tip my hat to Patty because I feel like I'm self-serving in that I'm providing back for something I got, where Patty is even more unique to me, where she never had something given from Make-A-Wish. Patty just openly provided herself and her efforts and the Beat the Winter Blues event all on her own accord. So I really tip my hat to Patty and the other volunteers that help out. The Beat the Winter Blues event, other than our crowd that comes in, wouldn't be successful without the help of Jean Gagne and the student council at Missisquoi Valley Union High School. There's a myriad of people, but one person that Patty forgets that I always remember is her husband, Richard, who puts aside many things so that he can construct displays so that we can present the items for sale. I always like to give that tip of the cap to the family. Patty has entrusted me in that I am the liaison for the Wish family. At every event that we've had for the past 14 years, we attempt to bring in one Wish family so that they can relate their experience to the crowd. As you spoke earlier about how these life-threatening illnesses affect the child and the family, my first wish, my wish child wanted to bring a rock and roll band into his backyard. But logically, he said, I know that wouldn't happen. And then he said, I'd like to go and see them, but to go, I would like to take my friend. And at that time, it was just strictly family. So he said, because my family wouldn't enjoy that, what I'd like to do is, we've all been cold in the hospitals. So what I would like to do is take my family, go someplace warm, sit with our feet in the sun, and just relax. not think about an appointment, not think about a doctor's visit, not think about when my next shots and chemo are. And he wound up going to Jamaica with the family, which I thought was very thoughtful of a 16-year-old boy.
Yeah, that's a lot of fun. So Jamaica, wow. Well, that's great. I love that you guys are able to grant these wishes, and it's such a wonderful thing for the families. Of course, you know I have a special needs child, and the appointments are, you know, they add up. You know, that's a lot of time that's spent in there, and we really have a great community that helps support us.
Without events like Beat the Winter Blues or golf tournaments, or I just saw where a high school did a dance and raised $3,000.
Champlain Valley Union did their formal dance.
So sweet.
And made a donation. It was like $3,000.
Yeah.
And, you know, so there's part of a wish. There, you know, so, and
there's people that just give you money too.
yes, and just think of what those young adults did.
Yeah,
they
that's
did
so
that,
true.
and I'd like, as again going back to the ripple, I'd like to believe that someday when they're walking down the street as an adult and they see something about Make-A-Wish, they can turn to their friend and they can say, hey, when I was in high school, I helped out with Make-A-Wish. And the other person will say, oh, what's Make-A-Wish all about? And again, there's that ripple. They spread out and they share what it's about. They share the feelings. And who knows, we might get another donor. We might get another wish granter. Wish granters, it's... people say it's hard. It has to be so hard. It has to be so hard. And I think Joe will agree with me. We're blessed. We are so blessed to be able to go into someone's home and to talk to their child and to hear the magic that they want. And then we have the best job. We get to go and try to make it happen. And we try to make the special spin on it. And we did a wish together here. It was a local child, and it was a pool wish. And Joe, we work so well together. Joe said, well, why don't we get the fire department and the police department to come? And it was something I hadn't thought of. I was thinking about the pool, you know, getting toys for the pool, getting towels, you know, trying to enhance it. And Joe says, well, let's get the fire department to come. And you know, they could come up with their sirens, because he knew that the wish child thought that was just a great idea. And it was, you know, so now the fire department got involved and the police department came with the sirens, and we had some superheroes that showed up. One of them came from Boston that morning to play the Joker. And, you know, the police department arrested them, and Batman came and Spider-Man came, and it was just so exciting. So now that whole other branch of people have been involved. And with Beat the Winter Blues, you became involved. And then you spread out to your friends and you put it out in the public and you say, hey, this is what we need. Can you help us out? And you touch people that I haven't thought of touching, just like Joe thought of touching the fire department and the police department. And we just come up with great items. People come and they listen to the Wish Child speak. Joe, like he says, is takes care of my family. I have different people that take care of things. I have Joe. He takes care of my family. They come. He gets them seated. You bring your palm posse, and you go around and you look. And I've seen you do it. I've seen you look at the table and you'll just adjust something just so that it looks just a little bit nicer. And I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Or you just put that little touch on it to bring it out. And I have
when I'm like rifling through the boxes and taking things out and putting them on display.
But you have an eye. You have an eye that, you know, we will put it down and put the bed sheet down, and you just come through and you just touch it up, and you just put that little shine on it that I'm like, oh, why didn't I think of that? And afterwards I think I'm going to do that.
Well, it's a lot of work getting the Make-A-Wish or thing together. And I know that everybody works really hard the day of to get everything set up on those tables. Mm-hmm. And then a lot of times the baked goods sell really well, but the trick with the baked goods is they have to be delivered on site that day.
Yes.
So it's a challenge because they sell really high.
They do.
And really well, but it's also like, okay, well, You're going to have to deliver on your own. Like, I usually collect everything and bring it over to you. We get it to Mary Wood's house, and then you pick it up at Mary Wood's house, and everything's ready to go. But the baked goods, I'm like, you're on your own on this one. You're going to have to deliver it because I got to get my prom dress on.
Yes, you do. And, you know, I must mention Fournier's equipment in Swampton. For years before when we first started, we would take pickup trucks. And as Joe says, my husband, bless his heart, would load up the pickup truck, and we'd have other people, and we'd make 4 or 5 trips from my house that day. And one year, he said to me, why don't we get a trailer and just load everything in a trailer and just take one trip? And I'm like, well, where are we going to get a trailer? And we called up Fournier's in Swanton, and I said, would you donate a trailer for us? And every year I call them up, and they donate a trailer for 3 to 4 days so that we can get it and load our boxes and bring everything. And some of the items we have are so large at the event that people don't have a means to get them home the night of the event. So my husband will reload them back in the trailer, and we bring them back to our house, and the people can come to pick them up at my house, or else we deliver them if it's something that is too large.
That was me once. You had delivered to me once.
Was that the dollhouse?
It was the dollhouse.
Yes, the dollhouse.
We still have it. We love it.
Yeah. And so here's a farm business that you would think, what would they have to donate to Make-A-Wish? And they donate a trailer to us.
Right.
And
people that don't realize they have a gift, they have something that they can give. And I feel like a lot of the artists, this is like, I went to my arts council meeting, and a lot of people said that they would donate to the arts, their art items to the event. And I feel like those sell higher than a lot of the other things. Mm-hmm. Higher, like I did a Queen of Hearts apron one year, and it sold for $55
yes.
for an apron.
Yes.
And I was just flabbergasted. I couldn't believe it. But, you know, art is something that's unique and original. And so I want to like reach out to the artists out there. If you have something that you want to donate, maybe it's something that you're really excited about. Maybe it's something you just want to get rid of. But the art sells really high at the auction because it's one of a kind, unique, handcrafted piece, and people really understand and respect that. And I will actually donate some of these trees that I was like, I'm going to try this. I don't know if it's going to work out. I'm going to try it once. And then I make it and I hate it. And then I give it to Make-A-Wish, and it sells for twice as much as I would have sold it for. So somebody liked it a lot. But yeah, I'd love to see more artists donating stuff. And of course, you know, you have bragging rights when you have your name right on that card, and everybody sees who made the art piece and stuff like that. So it's really, you get to show, not only are you donating an item that's tax deductible, but you can also have a way of everybody seeing, oh, who made this? Oh, you know, this artist made this. And it's just a great way to connect with the community and get to maybe try something a little risky that you haven't artistically wanted to, you know, challenge yourself to do. That's why I love this time of year, because I always challenge myself to do weird stuff that I wouldn't normally do, because I'm like, well, I'll just give it to Make-A-Wish when I don't like how it turns out. I know it's a terrible way to spin it, but people like it.
Oh, it's because it's different.
Right.
And I guess we should tell when the date is for this.
Yes.
This year, the event is on March 29th. It is held at the American Legion, which are very generous with their donation to me. It's the only place in town that we can have that many people, and they've been very generous in the past, and they're very generous again this year. And
that's actually right down the street from here.
Right down the street.
I think we're in Swanton right now, but if you hop a street over to the American Legion, it's actually in Swanton, believe it or not.
Yes, and it starts at 6 o'clock. People come early because it gets very full. We do not reserve tables. We do not reserve seats. It's first come, first serve. Get your place. Tickets are $45 a person, and that gives you the dinner and the auction live and silent, and dancing if we don't run too late. The food is catered by Sue LeClaire, who took over from Bob Santini. It's an incredible dinner.
There's a lot of food, too.
It's a lot of food. It's delicious.
And there's appetizers, too.
There's appetizers. Nancy Caju from Sweetie Pies makes me sugar cookies in the shape of a star, and she donates over 300 of those every year. She out of her business, and then she puts me together pies and baskets of goodies, and she donates that. Who am I forgetting? Oh, Comcast has come on board and donates a large item every year. Last year they gave me a chainsaw. The year before it was flat screen TV, smart TV.
Nice. Yeah.
Cargill from, am I saying that right? Cargill from Swanton. They've come on board and have become a huge donor.
Yeah. There's a lot of businesses like that. Some of the businesses just give you money.
Yes.
Towards the thing. They don't give you auction. They give you just money, which I think is
I
great.
have a person who they wish not to be acknowledged, only as anonymous, but they give me $100 every year. And so I try to think about how could I make more with this $100 besides just $100. So I bought a $100 gas card, and we put the gas card in one envelope, and we sell, is it 4 or 5? Five. We sell 5 envelopes. And we also, Ben & Jerry's gives us coupons for their little pint ice cream. So the other envelopes will have that Maple
Fields.
Was that, who did the car wash? Is it Maple Fields?
I believe so.
They gave me a car wash. So one envelope had a car wash and some pint coupons, but one had the $100, and then we auction off each envelope. So we averaged probably about $350 to $400 for a $100 gas card.
That's great.
So people say, well, it's not a lot, but hey,
you just tripled the money.
We just tripled the money, and it's just because of these other small businesses donated, and we were able to fill our envelopes to make it a little bit special.
That's great.
The nice thing with this is when we go to a business, a vendor, or even an individual, Patty and I both have the mindset that they still have to eat at the end of the day. So while it would be wonderful to get these multi-$1,000 donations, we deal with real people. Yes. We deal with people that do have a budget that they have to live in. So jokingly, but with all seriousness, if you give us $1, that's $1 more than we had yesterday. And that's one more dollar that we'll have to use on a wish for a child. Yeah. Tying things in on a common level. I speak at the high schools and other events, and two of the examples I give are, how many of you remember when you were 4 years old, or how many of you remember or have a 4-year-old that you can think of? And then I say, and how many of you could remember that 4-year-old saying, Mommy, all I would like to do is be able to swing on the swings like my friends do. And that was one of our wishes in Canaan. We had a little girl that has spinal muscular atrophy who is one of our princesses, and we were able to put in a platform swing for her just so that she could swing with her friends. Her mom and dad told us that we had a wish reveal party on a Saturday, and the swing set was finished on Friday night, and Mom and Dad told us that she had never been outside of the house much past 5 o'clock, and at 9 o'clock they had to bring her in because she was having so much fun on her swing.
Aww.
The next relatable one is I did a wish on the eastern side of Vermont, and the little boys, so I opened this one with, how many of you know somebody who lives on a farm?
Yeah.
Or somebody that works on a farm? And this little boy's wish was, I want to have a wish where Daddy can go on vacation with us, because Daddy worked on a farm, and if Daddy took the week off, Daddy didn't get paid.
Yeah.
And the farm didn't have somebody working, so we were able to supplement the family's income so that Dad could go on the wish, and you think, what would happen to me? And I can tell you what happened to me. A lot of the families tried to push it off, and I was one of them. I said to them, You know, if you would, when we called Make-A-Wish, all we were looking for was a recommendation of maybe go see Heather at the Holiday Inn and she can get you 10% off on a room, and maybe go see Patty at Disney and she can hook you up with somebody for a tour. I never in my life thought Make-A-Wish would provide for us what they did at the time of a lot of these parents. It's the worst time of your life. You know, the prognosis appeared that my son would probably die. You know, thankfully, to whomever, my son is happy and healthy at this point. But
you said something like 90%.
At that time,
Yeah.
my son's prognosis was 90% would become mentally and physically handicapped with a high mortality rate. Thankfully for me, my son won the lottery. You know, he was one of the 10%. You know, I could never win anything as important as my son's health.
Right.
You know, and this is what we see from the parents when they say, you know, you could give this to somebody else. Even some of the Wish kids think that another Wish kid should have this.
Yeah.
It's a truly humbling experience.
Absolutely.
And it's truly humbling when you go to a Beat the Winter Blues Bash or the co-op golf tournament or any of these, or to a CVU formal dance.
Yes.
Where people are supporting these children with open hearts.
Absolutely. Absolutely. It's an amazing event. And
It is.
I love being involved in it every year. And so anyways, the tickets sell out fast. So if anybody's interested in getting tickets, you better hurry. Because they usually sell it like a month before the event.
We've got
happens.
less than 100 left.
Yeah, less than 100 left. I hope you save mine.
I have yours.
So, and of course, we really need auction items donated for the silent and live auction. So if you are interested in donating to the wonderful cause we've talked about today, please get in contact with myself or Patty Rainville. My name is Heather Bichkowski, and you could probably hunt me down on Facebook, honestly. And then Patty Rainville too. I don't know if you want to like blast out any.
You can reach me on Facebook, or you can call my home phone at 868-4703. If you see Joe on the street, you can tap into him. You can always find us somehow, or you can call the office in Burlington, and they will get back in touch with Joe or I.
And honestly, I don't know if anybody knows, if you drop stuff off at the Swanton Library and just say Heather Bichkowski wants this, I can just run over and grab it. And I bet at the studio I could probably farm them out a little bit and be like, if anybody drops anything off at the studio, I have to come here to get cameras. I'm a videographer here. So, you know, I bet they wouldn't even mind. I'll just come and get it. So if that's easier to just drop it off, I love it, and I'm happy to help with that. And anyways, you guys, I'm so glad you guys came in and we did this. What a fun thing. We'll have to do this every year now, just to get the word out. Joe's on board, I can already tell. So thank you for joining us today to talk about all the amazing things that's going on with the Make-A-Wish activities in Franklin County.